It's a collection diverse of periods and styles and speak localities. Speaking accident in a different lands by over here, their studios, they do to competent voice building the rights. It's so usually so have the ambassador. Help us create life communities and national communities, and we make history come out.
So Phil's going to come on stage and say a few words about our venue tonight. Phil?
Thank you. First time here, anybody? Welcome. A couple of little things like that. Every time I see that, I get uncomfortable because I don't want spacious things. It's kind of a weird thing when you're on a camera. They say, have some energy. I'm using words like I'm basing high tops, and it just seems so sincere when I see it on the screen. Anyone notice at the very end, too? I'm holding that script. Everyone points that out. I must have did that 30 times. I could not remember. Finally, just had it in my hand. So someone always points it out. Thank you very much for coming. As I said, my name is Phil McGougall of the National Automobile Museum. 240 cars, 105,000 square feet, 16,000 square foot patio, and a lot of history and a lot of tradition. So you saw everything in view. I just wanted to welcome you. Thank you very much for having been here today. If you have any questions, anything at all, please let me know. Me and my team would love to help you out. But enjoy. Congratulations for your event tonight.
Thank you, Phil. Much appreciated. Phil and his team have been great to work with. A new venue for us. We're really excited about being in this space. And so to kick things off, who here has Elevate Reno before? Just by a show of hands. Okay, so maybe 70%. If you haven't been to Elevate Reno, it's a quarterly pitch and networking event with the intent of amplifying stories of entrepreneurship in our community. So for tonight, we have a few interesting changes. For the first time ever, we're going to be streaming. So heads up there that this event is going to go out on our LinkedIn and stream and on our Kindle, which does have Wi-Fi. So we'll see how that works out. So hello to the audience at home. Just wanted to say hi, and hopefully you're following us there. And we wanted to thank Dream Pilot Films. The team here is really helping us elevate production quality of this event. So thanks to Dream Pilot as well. First, I'd like to really get a good sense of who's here tonight helping the entrepreneurs in our community level up. And we do that through our panel of experts. So I'd like to bring our panel to the stage one by one and introduce these folks. So first we have Bill Parsons. Bill, can you come up to the stage, please? So Bill has held multiple global executive roles. He was a VP at PeopleSoft. He's an advisor, and he now sits on the executive committee for the UNR Honors College. So wanted to thank Bill for joining us this evening. Bill. Next, we have Danny De La Viega. Danny is a former founder, but when you're a founder, you're always a founder. Currently, he's the managing director, the Generator Venture Accelerator, the Generator Retail Venture Accelerator, and he's also an EIR, an entrepreneur in residence for the Reno Seed Fund, and just a really active member of our entrepreneurial community. So thank you, Danny, for being here. Next, I'd like to introduce Liz. Good, come up, please. Liz with Red Fire Branding. Liz is a brand strategist and keynote speaker. I'm being told to get a little closer to the center where I'm having the presenters stand, so I should have known this. Liz is an author of 3 books. She's been on, I think, every major television station. She was responsible for the Quaker Oats $650 million branding effort. So just really excited about the breadth of knowledge and expertise here. So wanted to thank panelists for joining us this evening. Thank you, Liz. So let's talk a little bit about the format. If you've been before, you know that the format is typically 7-minute presentations followed by 7 minutes from the panel who will ask questions and provide feedback to all of the entrepreneurs. And then what we're going to do is also give the audience an opportunity to ask questions. So if you're in the audience and you have a question, after we hear invite you, we'll make the microphone gets out to you. We want to capture those questions. So to start, I want to introduce our first company. Our first presenting company this evening is Ghostwrite.ai, and presenting this evening is Morgan Young. Let's give it up, Morgan, please.
Can I just start whenever? Oh, click. Hi, everyone. I also want to quickly acknowledge I'm the main one presenting, but this is my teammate, Jessica Nam. He's our technology officer. And tonight we're going to Ghostwrite AI, which is an AI ghostwriter that writes social media content that sounds just like you, or rather, the person that you're writing for. At Ghostwrite AI, we're leveraging the power of intentionally biased, custom fine-tuned AI models to enable content creators and content teams to do more of what they do best, which is create content. Getting to the root problem, why we're here tonight. In the last few years, we've seen just of the creator economy. And in this creator economy, to create content is money. If not consistently putting out content, they're losing out on reach, engagement, but most importantly, revenue. And most creators, no matter what level of experience they bring to the table, struggle with something that's called creative or writer's block, something that I like to call content creation skill. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people and a lot of companies out there trying to solve this problem, but most of the existing solutions are affordable or feasible for the average influencer. Most people think that the average influencer has 2 million followers and is breaking an easy 6 figures per year. That's actually not the case. Only 0.96% of creators and influencers have a following over 1 million. The average creator is much smaller than that. And so they can't afford the services of ghostwriters and social media marketing agencies with their high retainer costs and monthly premiums. And even those same service providers only have so much capacity as a human too. But you might think, well, we have the element of AI now. Well, the problem with AI and content is that influencers and content creators are more often than not known for their personality and their voice. ChatGPT sounds like ChatGPT, but we figured there had to be a better way to leverage AI. Introducing our solution, Ghostwrite AI. Normally, this is a video, but I had to send in a PDF, so just assume that that's playing. It's an AI co-pilot for personalized social media content creation at scale. The value points for our users are personalization and humanization of content output, an increase in workload capacity and revenue for our B2B users, and most importantly, ease of use. There's no prior knowledge of coding or AI fine-tuning required to use Ghostwrite AI. We really do that there's a bigger picture here than just content. The value that we've created with Ghostwrite AI is enabling the common user to leverage the power of AI fine-tuning while lowering the knowledge error of AI. But just currently, with Ghostwrite AI, we're tackling the use case of personalized at-scale social media content creation. We've identified our primary market to be creative service providers and agencies. Think of the people that I just talked about, ghostwriters, social media marketing agencies, ghostwriting agencies. And if we hope to expand into a secondary market of corporate communications, journalism, and mass media. However, we are aware that we are in an incredibly competitive landscape right now, the AI content generation space. And so in order to gain market share and brand awareness in that space, we've established an entry point market of content creators and influencers that already have established brands. Why, you might ask? They would be ideal users to prove that Ghostwrite works. And we hope to turn these content creators and influencers into our brand ambassadors and evangelists later to help us capture some of that brand awareness and market share. Now, speaking of a competitive landscape, this is our primary competition. This isn't comprehensive. Like I said, there's a lot of players in the space, but these are the 3 biggest competitors that have the most market share at the current moment. Our biggest differentiators are that we provide unique learning models to every single user. We provide no code training interface for everyone's AI model, and we provide complete autonomy over the user's data selection so they can essentially choose what data their AML. Now, the $1 million question, or should I say the $1 billion question is, does this work numerically? I think that it does. We've established 3 points of pricing for our enterprise users, respectively priced at $59, $99, and $149 per month, which is just about in line with our competitors for enterprise plans. And we at the top, you can see that's our entry point pricing for our individual creators, priced very similarly to something like ChatGPT. At every single level, hope I'm not blocking it, at every single level, we have really strong profit margins. We think we're chasing after a really good opportunity here. We've sized our total addressable market to be the size of the global content creator market, which at the present moment is $25.6 billion. The US, our SAM, is $5.07 billion. And we think that we can capture probably this market 2% of 2% of that US market within the next 5 years. And we realistically think we can capture 2%. We can make 20% towards that 2% goal within the next 2 to 3 years, bringing our launch addressable market to $20 million. We conducted some very early customer validation with influencers and content creators, the people that would likely be part of that entry point market. And the response that we got from them was overwhelmingly positive. The overarching sentiment from the testimonials that we got were that they were shocked at how much it sounded like them. They were loving the idea of how much time it was going to save them, and they thought it was worth the price and investment. Based on that positive feedback, we decided to launch a waitlist since multiple of our testers were asking where they could sign up for a waitlist. So we launched it, I want to say about a month ago. We launched it approximately 2 weeks before our participation in the Sontag Entrepreneurship Competition Finals. In that 2 weeks, we grew our waitlist to 100. For some reason, this says 99. But we grew our waitlist to 100 and we garnered 13,000 impressions for that marketing push. And if we were to convert 25% of that waitlist, that would bring us to $5,700 ARR and $22,500 ARR if we were to convert 100% of that waitlist. Based on that progress, these benchmarks we set for ourselves in the next 4 years. And on the right, you can see that we used fund that we had for the Sontag Entrepreneurship Competition. We were competing for $50,000. We likely will be raising a pre-seed round later this year. Probably not that number. We're trying to figure out where we with that. But our strategy long term is to get acquired by a larger player in a space, likely someone that you saw on the competition slide. We have a hypothesis that's going to be a lot of consolidation in space in the next few years, and we think that we're well positioned there. Now, everything that I just talked about is pretty lofty, and actually teams were graduating in a few weeks. So you might be wondering, why are we the people to do this? I'll tell you why. Amongst our core team, we bring software engineering, product management, and design experience from the Fortune 500. And on our advisory team, you can see one of them sitting up here, but we bring an ex-VP of marketing at Hasbro, the current managing director of the generator Reno Tahoe, and a current Fortune 500 consultant who also owns a creator agency. And thank you guys for listening and for giving me your full attention during this pitch. Questions? Yeah. Yeah.
So I get the sectors you're going after. I guess your question is, you said that users can download training data to focus on their particular needs. Are you envisioning when you're going after content creators, creative services, corporate communications, do you ever see a vertical emerging for your tool? Like you're going to focus on, say, healthcare in a B2B space, or life sciences, or aerospace, or any particular industries, or is this by intention to be broad for anybody in content creation, creative services, and marketing departments?
I don't see us going into a vertical like that narrow, like say like for healthcare content creation. I think content creation and social media more or less is our vertical. The kind of idea behind this came from my background. I'm a content creator on LinkedIn. I have over 52,000 followers. And in content creation, there's, like I said, there's a lot of tools in the AI content generation space. There hasn't really been a need for personalization for anything else. I mean, obviously you want things to be personalized as a consumer, but there isn't an inherent need for it. Influencers and content creators are solely reliant on their personality and their voice. And that's why they're struggling to pick up AI in that space. So when you talk about what vertical we plan on going into, content creation, social media really is our vertical. I would hope to find that there are verticals that would find value in this, but I think right now that's the space that we see already sees the value in this.
Thank you.
Just a few comments. I know brand name is Ghostwrite, and having created brand names, I always find that there's issues when you use homonyms, right? So, is it however you spell it makes it a little bit more difficult. So, I had a client, for example, who was called Lead Fusion, or it was actually Lead Fusion. It's the same reason what led Led Zeppelin to create LED after they initially spelled it LEAD. So I think that's an issue on how you might want to address it so that people get the right name the first time and every time. Second, when you were talking about your users becoming brand ambassadors, it reminds me a little bit of Ozempic, which is who really wants to admit that, oh my gosh, I've lost all this weight on Ozempic, or have I lost and done all this great writing work thanks to Ghostwrite AI? Isn't that sort of a secret?
I mean, it can be, but I will say that people, especially like to give you a very specific example, and part of the inspiration for this project came from a Business Insider article I read about the lucrativeness of ghostwriting. There's a CEO of a really big consulting company that I'm not going to name because it's public information, but he has 4 million followers on LinkedIn, and he publicly admitted to using ghostwriters. He said that's the only way that he can put out so much content. And I think at a certain point, I am a creator, but I also follow a lot of creators. At a certain point, you do expect when you see a creator's post, it's not just their work, it's their management team, it's their writer, it's their manager, it's their brand partner. And so I think also just in general with AI becoming more prevalent in spaces like these, I don't think that it will be something that needs to be kept so secret as long as like people again still feel like they are having conversations and real interactions with their favorite creators and that not everything is AI moderated. And that's not our goal. Our goal is not to replace people or writers or editors. The goal is to be able to augment their knowledge so that they can just do more of what they do best.
And then the last comment, I thought when you have a brand name like Ghostwrite, you have this huge opportunity to use that nomenclature from Ghost. Well, here's a scary statistic, and here's something that might frighten you. However, and I think there's just a really way to embrace that metaphor, which is really your mascot, into the brand and how you present it in further presentations.
Yeah, absolutely.
I first off, congratulations on all the traction, and I know I'm partially biased, but I'd like to ask, out of the initial customers that you have, or the people that you've pitched your concept to before giving them an actual trial into the product, one, where's the status of the actual product at right now, and when will people be able to try it out and actually use it? And then two, have any of your target customers tried any of the competitors that you mentioned on the list, i.e. Jasper or Copy.ai?
Almost all of our beta users have used other competitors before. Most people that are experiencing content creation, like not all, but I think a lot of us are kind of tech crazy and kind of have shiny new object syndrome. I remember I tried like Copy AI, like when it was still really a small thing. And so to give you the short answer, yes, all of our beta users have used our competitors, specifically the ones that I mentioned. And then to answer the other part of the question of where are we with the product, in all honesty, we thought we were going to be ready to launch a few weeks ago, but then we discovered some issues with overfitting of our AI model. And so we just basically decided to kind of go back into R&D and test it because with AI and content generation, it's a crowded space, but it's also a really sensitive space because the last thing we want is for it to put out something that could be really offensive or sounds really bad. So our initial tests were really good, but we kept basically trying to break it, and we did break it. So now we're kind of back in R&D, but I think our timeline right now is we're going to try and launch in about 3 to 4 months.
Okay, thank you. And then maybe I have one question for potentially is for Jessica, but how is what you're doing? You explained it very quickly, but for an AI layman like myself, how is what you're doing different from what Copy AI you're giving? Like, let's say you're a ghost or you're an influencer or a content creator, I can tell them what data or what pieces of writing that I've done in the past for it to learn on, and what are you doing that's unique and differentiated?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually utilizing what a lot of other companies and business ideas are doing. We're utilizing OpenAI's ChatGPT model. And so OpenAI allows developers to use their API for fine tuning. So fine tuning is a branch in machine learning where we retrain a already trained machine learning model with our own added data. And then so this data, now the model is retrained And so it kind of fits to the data that you submit to it.
Which in content terms basically means it learns to write like you after a certain amount of data. The biggest difference between us and our competitors right now is that none of our competitors allow a user, first of all, a unique model. Things like Jasper and Copy and Writer.com, they all function off of one large language learning model. Let's say me and Jess both use Writer.com. Our data gets fed into their singular large language learning model. And if we were to write similar prompts, we'd probably get similar outputs because it's the same model. We're using one model to every user. And as back in our pricing tier, at our enterprise level, we provide multiple models per user. So like the highest one is like 10 models to a user, and each model is kept separate. So no data that's uploaded to one training space will ever touch another training space unless the user so decides that that's appropriate. And the other thing is that no other competitor allows you to train an AI model based on your own data.
So I realize we're probably just about out of time for Q&A, but
they didn't start the timer, so I have no idea.
First of all, great job on the presentation. Very impressed with the traction you're getting. Just echo Danny's comments is awesome. The 3-year revenue projection, 15, 20 million, what was it? 15. Thank you. Say a few words about the sales model in a B2B world. Are you looking at direct sales? Are you looking at a distribution or a channel structure? How are you thinking about sales right now?
Probably direct sales. The type of client that we're catering to, which is like ghostwriting, social media, and marketing services, it's a very tight, small world. And so we do want to incorporate some more traditional marketing methods like B2B ads on LinkedIn and things of the like, but it's a very small world. So we're hoping to leverage things like conferences, industry, like not trade shows, but like the technology equivalent, and using just like plain old average outreach on LinkedIn to get a hold of these people and basically cold pitch ourselves. That's just like my style, I guess. But it's a very small world. And so I'm hoping to break in with a couple of well-known clients and then kind of go from there.
Thank you. One thing I'd offer maybe some coaching is per seat works well up to a point, but if you land some top 10 agency, think about an enterprise recurring revenue license. So instead of $39 a seat, it's 1.5 million a year. Paid monthly, so you get recurring revenue and it scales over time. If they're a top 10, top 20, top 30 type of agency.
Well, that's why every SaaS website has ask about enterprise pricing on their website.
Right.
All right, let's take a couple of questions from the audience. So if you would raise your hand and we will get you a microphone.
I have 2 questions. Do you have any competitive barrier like patents that will keep competitors away? And if not, why couldn't somebody with much more resources than you have copy your system?
Yeah, so that's a question that we've gotten a lot. I would say that our biggest advantage right now is the fact that we've tried to figure out why other companies aren't doing this currently, because we were able to prove that our hypothesis that you could train a model to sound like someone, but our hypothesis of why other companies haven't approached this yet is because our profit margins are significantly lower than theirs, because for every model, its computing costs are very, very expensive. And so when other companies are using one large language learning model, their profit margin is very, very high and much bigger than ours because we're using so much more computing resources. So that could be a reason they don't want to cut into their profit margins. Another reason is that they would have to redo the infrastructure for their entire software product. And for distributed cloud software, that's not an easy feat. Even though there are certainly companies that have more wherewithal, more resources, more staffing, more money, but it still takes a lot of time to redo an entire infrastructure of a cloud distributed software product. So I would say that we kind of more or less have time on our side right now, but we are aware that there's not a ton keeping other people from entering this space, which is why our plan is to execute fast and hard. I would say our other advantage is we are uniquely positioned as a team. As I mentioned, I have a following of my own, and this is actually something that I've been working towards for a long time. As of in the next couple months, I will be a LinkedIn learning instructor in personal branding. And so I kind of bring I kind of bring an audience to this already, and I have the network. And I got inspired for this product from my friends who are ghostwriters and ghostwriting agency owners. So I would say that our team itself has a bit of a competitive advantage.
Thank you. Second question. If I'm your competitor and I get your product, adapt it to your voice and your style, and then put out negative information to discredit you as an influencer, how can you stop me?
That's really difficult. I will say that there's nothing that we can do to prevent misuse of this product. We're working on it. We're trying to figure that out. But I will say that even if someone, like, for example, were to download all of my LinkedIn content and try to put content out, unless one day they hacked my account, they wouldn't really be able to do much damage to me, because even if it was content that sounded like me, but it was coming from someone else's account, it still wouldn't have the level of credibility you would need to damage like a creator's reputation. However, that's something I think the entire landscape is dealing with. Like, there's issues about deep fakes with politicians saying stuff, and people are still trying to figure that out. And I think we are just as much trying to figure that out.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
And so my original question was similar to what was just asked. I was interested to know about, sort of your hedge against substitution. What would keep your competitors from expanding into your space, which I think you answered with the model. But one thing you said just a second ago that was really interesting, which is their margins are better than yours. So I guess the question is, you mentioned that your long-term strategy is to exit with one of them acquiring you. Why would they buy you if your margins are so much thinner, especially looking at just sort of pressures on the street today to basically to maintain margin? Why would someone buy you if your margins were so much thinner than theirs? It's just a question about valuation.
No, and that's a really good call out. Our margins are thinner, but they are still really good. Our smallest profit margin is 80% plus. And, obviously that's like the difference between ours and theirs is like 95% plus. But I think the reason that they would want to acquire us is because we are kind of going after that same subset of customers. We're going after a smaller subset of customers, which is creators and more of like knowledge-based creators. So like, we're not going after like TikTokers or like Instagrammers. We're going after people that like write a large bulk of content on the regular, and that audience and user base overlaps with theirs. And so I guess the logic behind if they were to try and acquire us is we're eating up some of their market share. Hopefully we're eating up some of their user base. So they would want to acquire the product. And like I said, it's really hard for them to, not hard, but it would take them a lot of time to redo the entire infrastructure of their distributed products, say Jasper, for example. But if they were to just buy us, then they could inherit our user base, our revenue, but they wouldn't have to redo their entire infrastructure. They would inherit everything that we've already built.
Your pitch was so wonderful.
Thank you.
To start off our evening that way. Number one. Number two, I need to be on your wait list. I create an incredible amount of content, and what I find when I go to like ChatGPT or Claude AI, like it actually won't answer or write what it is that I want it to write. So my question is for you, will you write what I want you to write for me, or are you do not allow more spicier content?
I think to a degree it will, that's a good question. I think we've experimented with this before. It will write in your voice. However, I think at the moment we have something in there that prevents cuss words. At the moment.
Well, I know how to interject those on my own. So it's not so much that that's the problem. I create a lot email newsletters, multiple per week, long form, Substacks, all of that. And it is like, if I go to AI to try to help with like a framework, it's so basic and so sterile. It's so boring. And so I kind of like, maybe I'll use AI to help with some bullet points, but it never can write anything for me. Like I have to do so much work. So the idea that there would possibly be something that uses my voice and like I'm tired right now. So, and I have a newsletter to get out to 25,000 25,000 people tomorrow. Like, so like you could help me with that.
Yeah.
Will you help me with that, or will you also just sort of stymie my voice?
No, we can definitely help with that. And I think something that's really cool, and I'm glad that you brought this up, is that not only does our model learn your voice through our tests and our experiments, we found that it actually also learns from your knowledge that you're inserting into it before. So one of my friends, it was Ume. She spoke at Google Dev Fest last year and she wrote a post about it. And that was one of the pieces of content that I trained her model on. And it remembered some of the things that she had said and the things that she had done. And it had learned some of that knowledge. And then for another one of our creators, I want to say it was Sierra. It was Michelle. She had inserted content about, I want to say it was how to ace a class, and it had learned some of the things that she had said. So not only was it speaking in her voice, it actually recalled some of the things that she had said. So I think that would especially be helpful to you. But no, it would not stifle your creativity at all. We've asked it to write in so many different types of voices during our experimentation. We also ran like not generic, but like they weren't specific to people. They were just toned a certain way, and they had certain vocabulary in them and vernacular to see what it would do. So it definitely wouldn't try to like shove you into a corner as far as your content. Problem that was brought up to us throughout our development process of people uploading copyrighted data. We are currently working on implementing a library that will check for copyrighted and plagiarized material. So we are addressing that problem currently. It's just not in our product at the moment. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Morgan and Jess. Excellent job. Next, I would like to introduce Trevor Richardson with Address Income. Trevor, if you could come up to the stage.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Sorry, my voice is a little sore. I talk about address income all day long to our clients, so I get a little burnout sometimes. So my name is Trevor Richardson. I'm the CEO and founder of a Reno real estate brokerage called Address Income. And before all of you tune me out and go, why is he up here talking about real estate brokerage in startup land? I have found what I believe is the largest niche in real estate and the largest niche in real estate brokerage. So the problem, I did our basic slides, problem solution, as we go through these. So the problem is that real estate investors out there, single family investors, regular home investors, small multifamily investors don't really have a brokerage or a service designed specifically for them. I've been building this platform and this service for many years at this particular point. This is actually the single family investors are the largest asset investor class in the entire nation. Single family homes are enormous in scale. And obviously we know there's a million agents. Everybody in this room probably knows 10 agents. But none of them, unfortunately, know really too much about real estate investing. They didn't analyze every single property in the market today based on cash flow scenario that can show you exactly what the best cash flowing investment properties would be. So it's just an untapped service. The only people really doing this right now are institutional investors that have all these advanced tools. That's your Wall Street investors, et cetera, that have that. So that's the problem. Oh, yeah. Is that better? Cool. Okay, so how large is this? So this is actually this is per NAR, not my data. 49 million rentals in the US. 70% of 1 to 4 units down here are owned by individuals. 30% are owned by institutional investors. So what we're going after is shaded here. And then as you get past 4 units, all the way up to 300 plus units for multifamily only, that segment is 93% owned by small investors. There's very little institutional influence under 50 units. So we have a huge niche to play with right here. Actually, 80% of the US multifamily stock is between 2 and 49 units. So of that 93%, That's 80% of the entire U.S. Multifamily housing stock. All I do is study housing all day long. So this is an enormous niche of small investors, and many of you may own real estate investments here. You're kind of wondering, why didn't you have a real estate agent that really analyzed every property every single day for you? Maybe they didn't have those tools, that training, those resources. That's what we're really tapping into here. So this is our large target market. So our solution is to build a real estate brokerage with trained investment agents that have access to what I'm building right now, which is the most advanced real estate investing platform that this region has ever seen. Coupled with a sophisticated real estate website, combined will make the most advanced technology real estate website in the entire city of Reno. You may know real estate agents, you may know luxury agents, you may know a commercial real estate agent, but you don't know an investment agent. So how do we accomplish this? We kind of break real estate brokerage down to where I'm forming Address Income to attack all residential investments. That's single family investments, small multifamily, and large multifamily. So we have single family agents, small multifamily agents, and large multifamily agents doing investment properties out of the same exact brokerage. So how are we going to execute this? This is where all the technology and prop tech, everything that I've been building for years comes into play. So we're going to infuse that by making the most advanced real estate investing platform in the region. So under development right now are 3 different platforms, really, for our starter. We have a database backend software that calculates every property every day. My Google spreadsheet right now has 255,000 cells calculating every single house on the market live today on MLS. So we're building the backend where it's going to be automated. So there's coding on the backend there. Website for users and agents. That's on the front end. Think of it like InvestorZillow. And then we're actually building Reno's first AI home investment bot that's going to read the backend system that will actually answer live real time when you ask Addie, our chatbot, what's the best single family investment property today? What's the best multifamily investment property today? It's going to actually answer that based on live backend analytics from Address Income. So what is this 2 minutes, 25 seconds? All right. So this is really hard in 7 minutes. So we're going to build a modern brokerage. This is a real estate agency. This isn't a SaaS platform. You can't get people to invest into real estate investments using a SaaS platform en masse. It's not possible. I've been there. I've been working with small investors for years. You have to have an agent involved, supported by technology. Then you put the thing in a really, really nice office space. I just secured this lease. This is at 100 West Liberty downtown here. This is a combination of a real estate brokerage and sort of a financial advisement firm where you come into here, we do all the advanced analytics, we're prepared for you, we do what we call a strategy session, and one of my Address Income agents will show you the top investment properties and get you prepared to real estate invest. Really excited about this space. It's been a lot of work. How do I grow? I grow by adding agents. We're a real estate brokerage. So we're doing 2 value add propositions here. We're adding the first and only value really to real estate investors, small everyday individual investors, not institutional investors every day. We're also building the entire platform to recruit agents. They're going to be able to grow their client base. They're going to be able to work into a fun environment. We're going to bring the office space back to real estate brokerage, which has been missing. So I'm really excited about that. Here's my hidden secret. We're using real estate investors to penetrate the entire real estate brokerage model. If they're going to trust our agents with their investment property, they're going to trust us with their regular home. So we are not just focusing on investors, but regular home services as well. My agents are trained to do all of the regular real estate stuff, list on MLS, go through properties, all of that type of stuff. That's kind of like the default stuff. They're going to have all of the tools, support to help real estate investors. So you guys might know some of these brokerages up here. I'm coming after them. So we're going to penetrate that. That allows us to grow exponentially. I sort of do multifamily just for fun because they're all residential investments. Punchline, because at Address Income, every home is an investment. 14 seconds. Hit it with 14 seconds left. If you guys know me, I talk about this like nobody can do like under an hour with me. So to get this into 7 minutes was tough. It's a lot of stuff.
So I guess Just a couple clarifying points. So first of all, thank you for the presentation. Well done. Thank you so much. This is targeted specifically to the Reno market. Yes,
For now.
for now. So are you
When I,
looking?
when I prove it here, it's going to be Vegas and then the other markets.
Okay, that's where I was going. Are you going to look to perfect it here and then
Yep.
through the recruitment of agents, scale it to Scottsdale, Vegas?
Absolutely. You could
Boulder,
do an address.
Colorado.
Yeah, we get in contact with investors in other markets. They're like, is there an address income here? Like, I need this. So we get that comment all the time. So, yeah, proof of concept is in my hometown, Reno. Go Pack.
I'm just going to continue with a couple other questions. It's more just me trying to understand your business model.
Yeah.
I took the comment, look, you want to go after Chase and Compass and Remax and others. Okay. Could they instead be partners? And you offer this solution to them to let them distribute broadly and scale.
That's the first question I always get is the enterprise route.
Yep.
I don't really want to do that. I want to have the license and all of our technology that we're custom building exclusively for address income. I believe in address income. I believe in the brokerage. I've been doing this for 14 years to get to this point. So
Okay.
I love the branding. I love the company. And I want it to only be, I feel like I might get run over if somebody sees what we're doing with the technology and offers a better enterprise solution. If I license it and build the brokerage, though painfully slow to build brokerages and markets, it's the longer route, but it's the more rewarding route for me. It just makes more sense to me. But I get that question a lot.
Okay. And then I'll hand it to my colleagues here in a second. When you think about the business, how do you view Redfin, Realtor.com, Zillow, and other players that do valuations of property based upon comps and whatever data science they're applying? How do you look at them? Are they part of your service? Are they competitors?
Zillow's a marketplace.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Zillow's great. Redfin's fine. Redfin's a cloud brokerage, sort of. But they are like Zillow. Yeah, Zillow's a marketplace. So we're not a marketplace. We're a brokerage. And until they switch to help investors, I guess I don't have much to worry about. It's so new to most people, this concept. It's so hard to explain because nobody's seen it before. I almost wish there was like a competitor because it would be easier to explain. So I don't know. They're not developing it right now. That's all I know. So yeah, could Redfin develop something like this or a specific investor tool? Sure. All I know is at this particular moment, they're not doing it. So I'll play around with marketplaces. That's where we list properties. So our listings will pop up on Zillow.
I wanted to understand better how you get a prospect, maybe couple, however you define, into your office, right? And your job is to educate them and talking about them about commercial real estate and the advantages of it and how they make money and whatnot. It just seems to me that education is a huge component of the sale. Am I right?
Huge. And right now, I call it the real estate online investing complex, where most investors go right now is they end up on Bigger Pockets, which is great. We're all over that. I have agents pulling leads from Bigger Pockets because they're seeking real estate investing advice and information. It doesn't exist. They end up talking to gurus and like buying books and seminars. I'm not doing that. I'm doing professional grade analytics like a financial advisor would do for Wall Street, but we're
searching for that privilege.
No,
okay.
You just work with our agents. So because of the new real estate changes that's coming down from NAR, many of you may be familiar with that if you're in the real estate industry. I'm excited about that. I'm a disruptor. So I'm so excited and prepped for this. So our website's going to be subscription-based from the very beginning. There's no fee for the subscription, but when they sign a buyer-broker agreement, they're going to get access to all of our advanced tools for real estate investing and Addy the chatbot, which is going to be the most powerful real estate tool in the entire city. They'll get full reign to that online by logging in as a user if they're working with one of our agents. So if they don't do that or don't want that, then we don't sign them up. They're not our client. We'll go on to the next one. So it's a subscription base, but it's actually no financial charge right there. We don't collect any money. It's commissions.
Right. Back to the mantra. They pay nothing. It's worth nothing. That's what I always believe.
Yeah. Well, that's a deeper topic with the NAR. I could spend 30 minutes on that.
So in your go-to-market model, is the biggest dependency on recruiting the proper agents, or is there some other aspect that determines success or failure?
Good question. Because we're going to build a platform for the real estate agent, an investment platform, I'm going to be able to take a real estate agent that's dedicated at selling houses, maybe wants to dabble with small multifamily. We're going to make them a super investment agent by the platform. They don't need to have 15 years of experience and I own 100 doors or whatever. I actually don't own any investment properties, so I just analyze them all day long like a professional. But they don't need to do that to be able to deliver quality analytics based on real-time data to do that. So our agent platform is going to be advanced, kind of what Compass did, where they just sort of cleaned up MLS, infused prop tech so their agents log on to a platform, makes it really clean and easy for them. Imagine an investor form of that where they can analyze hundreds and thousands of properties daily, thousands if we're like in Vegas, obviously, for their clients, hook them up with the best investment properties, answer investment questions live in real time. So our platform will be able to take a normal real estate agent and make them an investment agent through training of the platform and just general real estate investing and hanging around us. And yeah.
First up, again, congratulations on all the progress. 14 years of great work and
Thanks.
on the new office. I was going to say, what is the point of the real estate agent if is essentially you've built a platform that can give all the investment analytics for a region, or let's say I wanted to buy an investment property.
Yeah.
Why don't you just give me access to the platform and allow me to buy it? And help me understand your business model. Is it the brokerage, meaning like you're the one who's actually giving the loan to the investor, or selling the home? Explain exactly how you make money again.
Sorry.
No, that's the question. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. We're just the brokerage. So we're the real estate agent. We either help a buyer buy a house, we help a seller sell a house, we help a buyer buy a multifamily property, or we help a seller sell a multifamily property. Just those four things. We actually don't do commercial real estate, which is where people work. We focus on where people live. Sorry.
Take a cut of the sale.
Correct. Commissions. This is what real estate agents have done an awful job at, which is why the NAR lawsuits hit. So we get paid by commissions. So if we list a property, the seller pays agent commissions, which is now going to be decoupled. Not really, but it's decoupled. And through our buyer broker agreement, when they sign up for our service, that's where we have an agreement where there's a commission schedule tacked onto that. So if we help them buy an investment property through the agent and they're signed up through our service, they're going to get a commission.
Okay. And then, so what you are essentially doing, you have a marketplace of homes that you're either representing from the buyer's side or the seller's side, and you're using real estate agents to go out and find more opportunities of people looking to either buy or sell their home. And you're empowering this marketplace with the data that you've been fine tuning with your model, as well as these front end tools that help these agents effectively communicate that data.
Yeah, and the users directly. And then to answer that question, you have to have an agent to write a contract, to do inspections. We take it all the way through like a normal traditional agent would.
Okay.
So we're just doing all of the normal real estate services. It's all value add on top of that. Address income is like, I call it the plus. It's like real estate agency plus all of this investing stuff that they just get by working with us.
Okay. And after working at some of these competitors, the local like Dixon and things like that, they have tools as well that they're utilizing to analyze properties, but you're saying that they're not as advanced as yours, or they're not encompassing as much information. They don't have tools. It's kind of just like, okay. And then
I have no natural competitors. Seriously.
Another quick question is,
I'm aggressive.
With this marketplace, as you see, like project forward, things are growing really well. What's the hardest part of your job? Like, is it going to be more difficult to get more homes involved, more buyers, more sellers? Is closing the deal the hardest part? Where's the challenge in your mind?
The challenge for us is right now, my biggest challenge is recruiting agents. This thing lives on agents. It's all about commissions. That's what generates revenue for the brokerage that allows me to grow. Right now in the brokerage world in Reno, I'm like an alien. They're like, they look at address income and it's all this technology, and like agents are kind of like, what is this? You know, like this is so, as we grow with agents, like I have multiple agents coming on board right now, it's going to start to look more normalized as a brokerage where the agents are going to look at us and they're like, oh, I kind of see what they're doing. This is going to help me grow my business and be a better agent. work with investors if I want to, but we're going to be able to recruit agents that are just doing traditional home services. This niche is so large. Even first-time home buyers that aren't looking at cap rates or hardcore investment metrics that we do every day, they're looking at their home as an investment. This is the modern approach to real estate brokerage, is hitting everyday home buyers with this, your house could be an investment in 5 years if you grow your nest egg. So it's all that analytical approach at the front end that our agents are going to distinct themselves. And coming up into this world, agents, real estate agents on the buyer side to sign these buyer broker agreements, for anybody that knows what's going on in real estate world, they're going to need to provide value. I have tremendous amounts of value for my agents to have clients work with them.
So I know you've been at this for 14 years. Are you currently in market now with a product? First question. Second question is, do you ever envision including the lending side into this solution? So not only you're working with agents on identifying property, selling property and all that, but then you bring in some lender to assist the investor in closing the whole loop on the transaction.
We handle lending just like every other. We use third-party lenders. We recommend them to clients just like anybody else. We have our investment lenders that we work with that are better with investors, but it's not any different than buying a normal house through that process. Fully operational. We wrote multiple offers today. We have an office. This is fully operational. I'm listing an 8-plex on Friday for 2.7 in Midtown. It's a little expensive. So we're fully operational right now. So we're securing that office space. I have a full-time office manager. We have a tech team of 3, which is CS majors from the University of Nevada that have been just unbelievable. They're building our entire back-end system. Real estate is so tired and old. If you take coders from the University of Nevada and start building real estate systems, it's ridiculous. Because no real estate company is investing in real estate, even in this city or really nationally very much, other than those big ones that you said, Zillow, Redfin, etc.
Thank you for the presentation. Why Reno? And once you conquer Reno, where are you going next?
Vegas is the next stop because I don't even have to get a license in a different state. So, sorry, what was the first question? Why Reno? I'm born and raised here. Go Pack. I grew up on Yory Avenue. I'm as Reno as you come. So super burrito all day long. Minogue, Nevada. So this is my hometown. Nothing better than that. But Vegas is definitely the next step. That's a major market. We have to have technology to be able to recruit agents. Vegas in general is like one of the most sharky real estate markets than you could possibly imagine. So if I go down there and start banging around address income, I need to be prepared. So this is proving ground right here. Reno's perfect size.
So what's your growth strategy? Is this all going to be bootstrapped? Are you looking for investors?
I'm already bootstrapping.
You're bootstrapping now. Yep. So you're building the AI with the revenue that you're bringing in.
Yep.
And you'll grow to Vegas with that's great.
Yeah. Bootstrapping's fun.
So great presentation. You keep bringing up the NAR lawsuit for folks that aren't aware of that. Is where they essentially said they colluded all these years to push a 6% commission rate, and now that's sort of out the window. How do you see that changing what you're doing? How do you see that? Because what I've heard is 1 million real estate agents are going to leave the market.
Please.
You're going to pick them up?
Absolutely. No, it's a disruption to the traditional real estate brokerage model. The big brokerages are going to have really hard times making adjustments this year. I'm not. I've been prepared for this for a year of switching over to basically a subscription model. It's going to feel like that from the beginning. We've already been testing it with clients. They're like, yeah, I would sign up for this. So we have strategy sessions, which is the big buyer meeting. I already have all of that lined up. We have all of the value. So our agents are going to be able to unlock all of that value via our website. Our website's all live, by the way. So actually I have a portal that has every house analyzed today in Reno on our website. It's a single family investor portal. So again, there's 255,000 calculations going into that. You can log on and use it right now if you're curious about the best single family investments in Reno. It's live on our website, addressincome.com. So yeah, I'm actually ecstatic about it because buyer brokers, buyer agents are going to have to bring value. And that's exactly what I've been building for years to get to this point. Yeah. Yeah. So they signed the buyer broker agreement that comes with a commission agreement right there. So, and the way that works is if sellers are not offering commissions on a house that the agent is making an offer on, then the buyer will be on the hook for whatever we put, like 2.5% or whatever the baseline is. If the seller's offering commissions, then they don't have to pay for that. But there's that agreement up front that's coming down industry wide. I'm already prepped for it.
All right, awesome job, and congratulations on how much progress you made on
Thanks.
this. So traditionally, the brokerage space is a tough space to differentiate on. It's a relationship business.
Yeah.
And I think you've done a great job of finding a way, a crack to chisel at to differentiate.
It's my goal every day.
Absolutely. And my question is, you just got this beautiful new office. How big is your team right now?
So it's me. I'm still practicing multifamily. So I'm still doing multifamily brokerage. I do some single family transactions for investors. I have 3 fully operational agents, one that's signing on next week. I have multiple in the cooker recruiting. I can't get agents without an elite space. So real estate agents are kind of funny. We're all weird. We need a space. So that Class A office space is going to allow me to grow here locally and recruit more agents. I could have 40 or 50. If we start to grow a little bit, I want to put a satellite in South Reno. Like I love Meadow Creek down there, where high demographics are. South Creek Crossing, I love that place, but a nice address income office in there would be fantastic. So, yeah.
If I'm an investor in the market for a fourplex, I do get your value add, giving me all the analytics of what is my best investment. If I'm the owner of a fourplex and I want to sell it, what's your value add?
We sell fourplexes. So we do a ton of really high end marketing for fourplex in particular. Fourplex is small multifamily. It's actually residential small multifamily. So it's a residential loan for up to 4 units. The small multifamily, if I had more time, I could go into all these segments, guys, of residential real estate. But small multifamily is a completely untapped niche. I've actually personally dominated that space in Reno, buyers and sellers for multiple years. Small multifamily is just, it's the consumers of small multifamily don't even know if they're in a residential brokerage or they should call their real estate agent or they should call a commercial agent. Should I call the commercial agent because they have like these analytics and they're kind of like, I don't know, more intelligent? My residential agent doesn't, you see the confusion if you've ever looked for small multifamily? It's a complete disaster. In fact, all of the real estate data systems like Zillow don't even have a unit count. It's not even a metric that is live on their website because they don't have units. So evaluating small multifamily is really difficult. So from the sell side, we do all of these advanced analysis reports when we list properties. I can get your card. I can send you my 8plex that I'm listing on Friday. And you'll see how we analyze that property and how we make it approachable for the buyer's agents and buyers to analyze the property. I do a lot of property analysis every day. We also have every multifamily property analyzed completely. So in the market right now, there's 37 multifamily properties available today. I have all of them completely analyzed just like single family. So I call it total market analysis, where we've analyzed every property in the market.
All right, let's give it up for Trevor Richardson. Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks. Oh, you need water.
Thank you very much. All right, before we move on to our next presenter, I wanted to talk a little bit about our next Elevate Reno. So the next Elevate Reno will be during Reno Startup Week, which is September 16th through the 20th. And interestingly, we've partnered with Pegasus Tech Ventures, and we will be a regional qualifying startup pitch event for their World Cup. So the winner of our regional event will have the opportunity to go on and present in Silicon Valley to win, to have the opportunity to win $1 million. So we're really excited about that. Please check out Startup Reno. Oh, sorry, not Startup Reno. That's another website. RenoStartupWeek.com and ElevateReno.org for more information. We would love to have startups that presented tonight present during that event, or any entrepreneurs that have not yet applied to present. And I think that's just a great opportunity. So be on the lookout for more information there as those plans develop further. So our third and final presenter, I want to bring to the stage William Brendel. And William's startup is automarketer.ai. So let's give it up for William.
Thanks, Justin. Hi, Charles. I mean, judges. Wrong show. I'm excited to bring to talk about Automarketer tonight. I'm Will, CEO and founder of Automarketer. I have a PhD in AI, 20 years in the field, work for Snap, Google, YouTube, Amazon for 10 years, already an entrepreneur. And that's Tristan, my co-founder. And tonight I want to tell our story. We really wanted to impact the little guy, give back to the community after working for 10 years in big tech. I wanted to build a product that was really useful to people, not just entertain them. And Tristan has his heart set on small and medium businesses because he's a small business owner as well. And we wanted to know how we could build a product that would help them. And so the best way to know that is to ask them. And so the journey began. We interviewed thousands of business owners, cleaners, dry cleaners, car dealership owners, you name it. And then all had something in common. At night, they all go on social media, consume them, but they never post about their business. And we know how critical social media marketing is, especially for small and medium businesses. And so we told them, hey, you need a social media manager. And what would be your wish list if you could hire someone like that? And again, the list was long, sometimes with some unreasonable expectations. They wanted something extremely cheap, less than $100 per month, someone that would work 24/7 every day of the week, and someone that would definitely not bother them except to tell them that their social media are doing great. And so we went back on the whiteboard and see what was existing today. And human solutions are simply not scalable. Social media managers are too expensive. One-off influencers are too unpredictable. And your local Gen Z kid or grandkid is simply not going to do it for you every day. And so intuitively, we discovered that technology could help streamline the problem. And so what is Automarketer? Automarketer is a very easy platform. It takes 5 minutes to set up. It costs 50 cents a post on average 3 times a day, 5 days a week. And the way it posts using generative AI is by analyzing competition and trying to find what's relevant out there, and try also to find the business voice based on the business input. So by now, you should be convinced that that's the future of small and medium businesses. But we did our due diligence. At 50 cents a post, we have a total addressable market of 12 billion. And I really want you to digest this number. 50 cents a post, $12 billion total addressable market. And why? Because, there's something I didn't know that I discovered when I did the study. Almost half of the US GDP is supported by small and medium businesses. When we think about the US wealth, we always think about the big pharma or the big tech, but actually nearly half of it is supported by the little guy. We did our competition analysis and see what's out there. And what we discovered is that there's a hype using AI, of course, especially in the domain of social media. But every company is building those platforms because they're geeks for geeks. They don't build platform for the customer. So all those platforms right now are designed for pro marketers. When you go on those platforms, it's like a dashboard, Windows 2000 style, tons of buttons, knobs. But if you're a cleaner or a car dealership that works 6 days a week, you're not going to be able to spend much time on it. So right off the bat, those tools are prone to fail the small and medium business owners. Whereas we focus on a very simple architecture. So for our production and strategy, in the short term, we plan to target women-owned businesses and also minority businesses. They roughly represent half of the market. And why? Because they're the most in need. When you're a mom and you own a business and you have 5 kids, literally you have no time at night. When you're a minority and you have like plenty of challenges, you have no time. And because those are the people that are most in need, they will be our loyal base. We plan to reach roughly 1.5 million AR within 2 years, 30 mil within 5 years, a seed and a series in between. And what are the next steps? We're currently in beta. You can play with the system. We are going to launch the V2 very soon, within a couple of weeks. We're working with beta testers to really improve the experience because we discovered that while the system was behaving properly, meaning posting on behalf of those business owners, it would take time for them to get onboarded. And so right now, the entire onboarding process is moved not to a dashboard like competition, but to an entire chatbot. And it takes about 4 to 5 minutes to get fully onboarded. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn by scanning the QR code.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on the traction. Couple quick questions. This beta, how many people are in your beta, and who are the beta testers?
Yeah, there's 12 to 15 people right now. There are small and medium businesses owners that we know. Everyone that comes by my house, the cleaners, the landscapers, you name it. So we send them off. And the main feedback that they got wasn't so much about the technology because they loved it, but really how they set that up. In every platform, you enter your prompts, you turn your knobs, and they really wanted something that would speak their own language. So hence the chatbot.
Okay. And you mentioned in the beginning that you've interviewed thousands of people. Do you mean like surveyed thousands of people?
No. Thousands of people. Actually, the people we interviewed are the one on the platform.
Okay. And these interviews are like you ran them through a series of questions to kind of zone in on that ideal customer persona.
That's correct. It started very informally with my cleaner. I asked her if she had a website. She said no. Any social media? She said no. And then she came back and said, oh, no, I have a Yelp page, completely outdated. And I asked her, how do you get business? She's like, oh, well, it's hard. It's word of mouth. And if I do a bad job, someone is blackmailing me. So she had really no support to grow her business. And a lot of competition actually is focused on AI for targeted ads, meaning they help you to write those ads, but ads are expensive. They're pay-per-click, and it can go pretty fast. Whereas we discovered that many websites or businesses become successful, or influencers become successful when they have a social media that are grassroots, and that's what we're focusing on.
Okay, and this requires that cleaner that you're mentioning, she needs to go and set up these social media accounts then in order to utilize your product, correct?
100%, and it's tackled in the chatbot. Literally, the chatbot starts, hey, what's up? Her name is Eugenia. So what's her name? Hey, my name is Eugenia. Oh, and by the way, the chatbot is multilingual. Spanish, English, you name it. And so she did it in English, but at some point I was like, hey, try it out in Spanish, and she had fun. And the chatbot is like asking a series of questions and reassuring along the way, extracting the business story. So she's like, oh, I built my business like 4 years ago. I'm a mom of 2, etc., etc. And the chatbot sometimes ask, hey, do you have any social accounts? No, I don't have it. Hey, let me help you set up those accounts. Boom, you go on Twitter or you go on LinkedIn, wherever you want to go, on their setup system. We'll collect back the credentials and hook them up to the system, everything seamlessly.
Okay, thank you.
Did Ghostwrite provide content to auto marketer?
Yeah, I know. And that's in the long term. I know that someone will ask a question about defensiveness, so preemptively I'll talk about that. Really, defensiveness is in the data, okay? And so, sure, in the long term, we want to collect via this platform all the business intelligence so that we can personalize those voices. And so definitely in the long run, we'll have something very similar to Ghostwrite.
So it's 49 cents, 50 cents a post, 3 times a day, 5 days a week.
$30 a month on average.
$30 a month. What are the measurements of success? So the small business comes back to you and says, hey, I've been paying you $30 a month for the last year. How do you explain to them, well, this is what you're getting for that? Are you getting more hits, clicks, obviously customers that show up at your doorstep? How do you measure success for your clients?
Excellent question. So when you do an ad via Facebook ad system or Google ad system, they set up a little ID in your cookie so they can track from all the way to the purchase sometime the customer journey. When you build an AI that is basically a social media manager, you don't have that ID, but you do have metrics such as engagement, a number of likes per post, number of replies. One of the strategy as well we plan to put in place is post replies from the business owner. So not only the AI is able to post, but to detect when someone replied to the post and engage with the user, because that boosts the ranking. And so that's a measure of success. And really the goal is less about writing some sassy, super personalized post, but really to fool the algorithm of the social media platform into thinking that what you post is relevant. And that's what we're focusing on. So if the images are also, we use Dolly, so they're fully generated as well. It's a service from OpenAI, and really the idea is to have an AI that posts frequently with relevant content that we know strikes because of automatic competition analysis, and to grow the social media followers to a point where you get more customers. Now, I have no way to know if followers are going to go to the shops. I have no way to know that.
Sure.
But no social media manager has that knowledge either.
Okay. Apologies if this question's out of bounds, but I ran data science and AI for the last company I worked at for about 6 years. Your platform is going to gather a massive amount of data.
100%.
Through the posts that you're providing and 100%. Feedback on those
That's
posts.
the goal.
Right. So how does that play into your business model? Because that data is going to be massively valuable to advertisers, to anybody that wants to reach out to the largest segment in America, which is SMBs. So ultimately, this is a data play, it feels like. In addition to helping the SMBs, it feels like the bigger business opportunity, or equally big as SMBs, is all the data you're going to get and how you can use that.
You are 100% right. I don't know if you know 23andMe, the recreational, and their business is like, it's recreational genetics, but their true business is to collect enough data so they can do genetic research. by analogy, we're the same. And so in the long run, that's one of the slides, that's what I was mentioning. It's really like to have a different vertical to resell that data or to make that AI even more personalized to do prediction on the business success in the future, as well to tackle bigger corporates that are partnering with those small and medium businesses to give them a potential metric of success in the future. But for that, we need enough data. And to get enough data, we need to sell the success story of the small businesses first.
Describe the go-to-market model in the early days. Are you selling to small businesses directly or working with agencies that have contact to small business?
Yeah, 100%. Look, at 0.1%, return on a cold email outreach, I'll let you do the math. The company would still make multiple millions ARR. So really, our strategy right now is to brute force it. So we are looking to talk to companies like Data Axle that own over 20 million business email and addresses to literally brute force it, so that even with the lowest return, we could get enough businesses, and then the word of mouth will spread. Because those small and medium businesses, they talk to each other. They go to similar convention, they go to the same association, and so we suspect that as well. It will play in our favor.
You're targeting small business owners, which are primarily services businesses, potentially, but is this also geared towards product businesses or
it's really
restaurants or anything like that?
100%. In small and medium businesses, I include restaurants. I include more, I don't want to say, but maybe more high-end businesses like lawyers, dentists. We see a big push from those traditional industries to go on social, to build their brand, because that's how they get visibility, hence more customers.
And then posting 3 times a day, 5 days a week with your beta testers, has it been working to increase their social media followings?
Yeah, surprisingly. Like by a lot, actually. We even, Tristan, who's my partner, he has a business, and we even purposely posted what I would call like trash data, and it would still gain traction. Not necessarily because people were reading those posts, but because those posts were presented to enough people, because we're fooling the algorithm into thinking they were relevant. And people would just like, some people would just look at the image and like it. Some people would like read the first 2 lines and just like it. Some people would say, oh, that looks cool. They would follow you, but they wouldn't really pay attention to the content. So it has been successful. The beta is early, so we're yet to see massive success.
Okay. Thank you. And then I saw quickly on the slide, 1,000 users equates to approximately 300K in annually recurring revenue.
1,000 users equates to 300K. Yeah.
And when and why, or you mentioned a seed round and potentially more investment rounds. What would you be using that money for? And when do you think it would be necessary, or when would you use that?
Yeah. So 300, why 300K? Because everybody talks about millions. It's pretty much the number where we would break even within the team, in terms of salaries plus the budget for marketing, which we hope would be around like 50 grand a year. And then seed, we can talk more like in private, but we plan to raise seed where most of the capital will again be geared toward marketing and brute forcing all those email outreach multiple times.
Talking about marketing, how are you going to go after these, your ideal customer persona, which you just described as someone who potentially has not thought about using the internet to get clients?
Yeah. So my Eugenia, my cleaning lady, is part of an association of small and medium businesses. That's the same association that actually recommended our floor guide. So they talk to each other. And so locally, I'm going to meet more and more people in those associations, ask about their story, their background, and put them on the system. And once we reach a sweet spot where onboarding is like less than 5 minutes, and we see a good traction, that's where we're going to raise the seed capitals to literally brute force those emails.
And then, thank you. And last question for me is, what is that onboarding like? Where do people fall off out of these initial ones? You've been the salesperson. The founder-led sales is a great way to start, but where are these people going to fall off? Is this a freemium that turns into something after a certain number of posts, or how does it work?
Yeah, the model is they get X posts for free per day. We thought about one post for free per day, but it's a variable that we can adjust. And they were typically falling off on the dashboard setup, where we would say, hey, but you can add more prompts. You can the system also allows you to manually post, which is cool in itself, because when there's an event that, of course, the AI doesn't know of, you can still post, but it will post not just on one platform, but on all the platforms connected. So you still save time. And so they would typically fall off on onboarding, where they would hook their social media accounts. They didn't know where their credentials were. They didn't know if they had even an account. And they were alone. I was next to them, but I wasn't saying anything. And we'll be like, oh, F it. This is too complex. That's really where the chatbot is really helping them. It's like mommy guiding your hand through the process, saying, hey, don't worry. This is like, we took screenshots. This is where you find your serial number for your, whatever account. This is how you plug it. That's an awesome story. And really having that feedback with early beta tester, they just loved it.
The audience.
Yeah.
In your agreement with the small business, you probably already covered this or thought about this, but you're going to need to get their permission to use the data, right? And the data is probably going to have to be de-identified. The regulatory framework that's coming down from federal agencies and state agencies is severe. So as you go with this business, make sure you've got legal counsel or somebody in your corner inspecting the agreement to ensure the small business is consciously making the decision, yes, you can use my data, and to the extent that it's possible through data science, remove any PII, personally identifiable information, PII. Just a word to the wise.
Funny you mentioned that, and just to know it. My past project was named Angelytics, and it was analytics that is HIPAA compliant. So I fully understand what you're saying there. Some of the data, can be reused. Some of them is PHI, but most of the PHI data is actually, or I should say, in that case, personal data. But when you tackle like a doctor's office and all of that, sure, it's actually not that useful for the post. What's really useful is the business story, how passionately you describe your business, how you describe your struggle as a mom with 4 kids, because then in the post, the AI catches that and makes it in a very human way that you can relate with your followers. My wife is following like a bunch of influencers, but she can really relate not to the perfect person, but when that person is having struggle, is having like similar issues. And that's kind of like why we try to instill within those posts as well.
Awesome. Let's take just one question from the audience.
Hi, great presentation. I'm a niche business owner, female in business, so this is perfect for me. But here's my question. If it's 3 times a day, every day, what does that require for me in order for that to happen?
5 minutes.
5 minutes doing what?
You set it and forget it. Literally, the bot will ask you your name, your story, if you have already some accounts. If not, you can create them with the bot. Financial informations, obviously, and that's it.
Well, what's the content that it's posting?
So the content is based on your story. Meaning, when I say business story, meaning how you view a business, how long, the market you're in, and then we take that and we basically scrape the web for competition on various social media. So let's assume that you're a baker. We look at bakeries that are successful, see what they post, how they post it, and we really try to I don't want to say mimic, but build additional seeding prompts based on what's out there for you to be successful. So you can literally sleep on it, and it's going to post on your behalf. And really, really, what matters, and I really insist on that, is not so much the content, but other metrics. If you post regularly on social media, automatically your ranking is way higher up. If you post with images, boom, higher up. If you engage in a conversation within a post, boom, higher up. So you don't have to worry so much about, the content being really you and what you wanted to say, but more about, hey, am I visible out there? If that makes sense. But you can delete those posts. So we're going to show you a week in advance all your posts. You can delete them, you can reschedule them, you can change the images, you can tweak them if you want to. But the original goal was for you to, set it and forget it.
Thank you.
Great. Let's give William Brendel a round of applause. Thank you, William. Okay. That's a wrap. But before I wrap up, I want to say thank you to our panel. Thank you to all of our presenters. And thanks to the audience. You guys asked amazing questions. And give yourselves a hand, absolutely. Without you coming out to support our founders, our startups, events like this wouldn't happen. So last thanks due to Dream Pilot Films for just leveling up our production tonight, to the National Automobile Museum for providing this wonderful venue. And I have to thank our Elevate Reno organizing committee. We have here Larry Daly. Thanks, Larry. Candy Block, a wonder to work alongside Candy. And we have Nicholas Lerner over here. So if I haven't forgotten anyone, sorry. Of course, I always thank my boss. I do that every morning. I don't have to do that at a special event. Yes, obviously, Edon plays a big role in and sees the importance of events like this, and it's just so special that we have the community come out, both from the entrepreneur side and from the community and small business side, to help like really push entrepreneurship forward. So, yeah, Edon is very proud to be involved in events like this. So, with that, I will thank you and wish you a good night, and hopefully some network opportunities come out of this. Have a great night, and thank you.